Won't you give me a call? We'll ride on those waves again. And I can wait through a storm, 'cause without you it wouldn't be the same. Last night I was dreaming out loud. California sun was making my eyes dry. Can we still make it happen? It's worth a try. Oh, and I might keep on dreaming out loud. It's a beautiful life, staying under blue skies. And next year in the winter, let's give it a try. I'll keep on dreaming out loud tonight. Yeah, I'll be dreaming out loud tonight. I'll keep on dreaming out loud tonight.
People have personal problems with their properties. That's an absolute fact. 6 to 10% of the real estate market has personal problems with their property. So what do? Well, they can certainly hire a real estate agent. They can certainly fix up the properties themselves. They can rent out the properties themselves. They can do all sorts of different things. But what they choose to do is they choose to take less price for speed and convenience because they don't want these personal problems anymore with their properties. That's why they find us. That's why they find real estate investors, real estate wholesalers, to give them a quick as-is offer. Why do we make the profits that we do? Because there is risk involved in these offers. That is the absolute fact. There's a lot of unknowns with these properties. There's a lot of turbulence in the real estate market. That's why when you see the income that investors make, that wholesalers make, maybe sometimes you're like, wow, that is incredible. They make so much money. How do they do that? It's because we go out there and solve these problems. We take the problems that people have, the personal problems that they have with their property, off their plate. Boom. And our goal, my company's goal this year, is to do something that we've never done before. And that is to make $2 million in gross income. And I want to break that all down. I want to document this so that you can see what we are doing so that you can implement it into your business. So what I've done is I've looked at all the results that we've had for this year, and I've broken it down, and I'm going to show you exactly what we're doing. How are we finding these opportunities? What lists are we using to find these opportunities? What marketing channels are we using? And when we talk about marketing channels, what we're talking about is cookie cutters. Okay. Are you familiar with a cookie cutter? Do you know what a cookie cutter does? A cookie cutter punches out the dough. All right. That's what it is. And when you're getting started, you want to start with just one cookie cutter. You want to keep it real sharp. You want to keep it real shiny. You want to keep it real clean. And then you can start adding other cookie cutters to your business. But when you're starting out, just focus on one, because if you try to use too many cookie cutters to punch out the dough, it's not going to happen. Okay, you're going to be too distracted and nothing is going to really build the traction that you're looking to build. Okay, so let's look at these results. Let's break this down. The goal for this year, 2023, is $2 million in my wholesaling and flipping business and my real estate business. And this is where we're at so far. All right, let's break this down. All right. Number one there is TTP, calls, cold calling. This is my cold caller, Fran. And we have another that's a part-time cold caller. So far, we're at 7 deals for an income of $279,000 and an average of $39,000 per deal. The second cookie cutter we use is text message marketing. We've got 9 deals of $299,000 so far. This one is incredible because we use launch control, which is fantastic. And we have a texter that we use from Call Motivated Sellers. That's where we got Fran, our caller, and our other part-time caller. And then we get our texters from Call Motivated Sellers, and they're at like $15 an hour. So it's very, very, very reasonable. They're very good at getting people on the phone once they say that they do want to sell their property, and weeding out the people that are just messing with us or that really don't have any interest in selling right now. And so we've got an average there of 33,000. Pay-per-click has come on strong this year with 7 deals already. We just turned this on 60 days ago, and we're at 270,000 with a $38,000 average income. Matt, will you put me on this camera? It feels weird that I'm looking over here. I don't know what's going on. We switched up the studio today. TV ads. We started running TV ads to really start building up the our what is it called? Our brand. Thank you, Mike. Our brand in the area. And that's really helped out. It's really bringing more people to our website. It's really bringing more people that are just calling in. They're doing some due diligence on our company and calling in, and that's building up. And we're averaging $37,000 a deal there. Now that is expensive. We spent about $25,000 on it. But it will be $20,000 a month. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes, but I'll keep everybody informed so that you guys can know the power of TV, or if it's just, a waste of money. Next is joint venture, 3 deals, $81,000, $27,000 average. And that is a total sold and pending at the end of May of $1,005,043.
Boom.
What do you think of that?
Love it.
Yes. So far we're over 7 figures for the year, which is absolutely exciting. And we're just getting started. Now let's look at where we are finding these opportunities. Obviously, guys, when it comes to TV, when it comes to pay-per-click, we're not targeting specific lists. But when it comes to text message marketing and when it comes to cold calling, you can target specific lists. And here's the lists that are working so far this year. We've got 6 deals from Audantic. Now, listen, if you're not familiar with what Audantic is a data scientist company out of Seattle, and they charge, I don't know, it's like $30,000 a year, but they do their calculations and they find the most likely people to sell and the properties that are most likely going to be attractive to cash buyers. So it's kind of like they look at past results of what cash buyers are buying, and then they also look at what are the commonalities of these properties that are being bought wholesale when it comes to the seller side. So it's really pretty cool. They only have a certain accounts available in certain markets, and we're fortunate to have one here in Phoenix. Next, though, right down the line, you've got Tired Landlords, which is batch leads. We get that from batch leads. We've got one from the liens list, which is batch leads, pre-foreclosure batch leads, unknown equity batch leads, and high equity batch leads. And I want to kind of leave a little bit of mystery here so that people can ask questions in the comments and we can answer them on, what is high equity? What are, the 60, 90 day lates? What are the unknown equity and some of these other lists that we're using? But they've been very powerful. They've been awesome. We've gotten 2 deals from going straight to the city. You go to the city, you go and talk to the neighborhood services department, and you get the code violations. And these are really great because what I have found is you can get code violations with batch leads, but if you go to the city, you get it faster, and speed to lead, you go and get those leads before anybody else knows about them, and they're really fresh. Yeah. Really, really, really great. 60 to 90 day lates. That is, they're late on their payments. I wasn't sure if we get that from batch leads, and I didn't ask Jackie, my operations manager, or lead manager. So I'll get some confirmation on that. But that's it. 6 deals from Audantic, 3 from Tired Landlords, 2 from code violations, 1 from the lien list, 1 from pre-foreclosure, 1 unknown equity, 1 from 60 to 90 day lates, and 1 from high equity. Now, you know what the interesting thing about this? The interesting thing about this, guys, is 90% of those deals that we got from cold calling and text messaging were also on our Driving for Dollars list. right? So there's overlap there. Now, we don't put them all on there in here because I wanted to see specifically which list we pulled. But when they're in batch leads, you can stack them and see how many layers of motivation or distress there are, and go after those properties. And yeah, an incredible amount of them were on our Driving for Dollars list.
9 out
Wow.
of 10.
Yep.
Wow, 90%. That's
Yep.
huge.
Ugly houses.
Yep.
Yeah. One thing I think it's worth mentioning too is like there's AI is making a big dent in how all these companies pull lists
Yep.
and they compile info and all that stuff. So they're not just looking at ownership, of the properties anymore. Like a lot of these more advanced companies that you're buying lists from, I mean, they're cross-referencing buying habits, consumerism, and debt ratios and all that kind of crazy stuff. Right? It's scary to think about it, but it's really what's going on. It's really what's is happening on the back end,
Yep.
and it just gives you that higher percentage of probability there. So pretty interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What about your results? What
Yeah.
do you? I mean, what marketing channels are you using?
We're sticking right now. We're going to roll out PPC. We haven't
Yep.
yet. I mean, we've dabbled with it, but for the most part, I mean, we've stayed with cold calling and SMS.
Awesome.
And yeah, I mean, we see the cadence, the consistency is there. But yeah, I mean, as far as the volume, there's stuff that has to go into it. On the other side, though, on the other side of the thing, I told you about buy and hold. We're doing a lot of buy and hold right now, and those it's actually door knocking strategies. Like still going to the door.
You're finding opportunities for you to add to your portfolio.
Yeah,
That's your strategy.
Yeah, exactly. So we're doing we're going directly to door knocking, and since the beginning of the year, we built a portfolio of about, and it's me and a couple partners, but 40. We're up to 48 single families. And yeah, I mean, it's going after pre-foreclosure kind of stuff, speed to lead. I mean, it applies everywhere, right? I mean, PPC, of course, but then you see it in all different places. But
I talked to somebody, Jim, in the Rhino tribe. He's like 55 years old, and he's like, man, I wish I would have, we have some of these guys in here that are like 20 and 30. I wish I would have found you guys, years ago, or would have started this years ago. And I said, well, listen, if you look at the opportunities that we find, and you cherry pick the properties that you want to keep for your rental portfolio, it's almost like you buy yourself 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Seriously, because you're buying things at prices that were around in 2005 and 6 and 8, and you're getting these properties at those prices.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely incredible. It's, not only is it great to go out and get the income in and wholesale these deals, but if you keep those properties, it's almost like you bought yourself 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy to think about?
Absolutely. I mean, it takes it may take some capital to get rolling and everything, but there's so many different strategies out there that we can roll out, man, that, I mean, it makes it doable, right?
Yeah.
Even when we think it's not. Hell, I wish we would have found us 10, 15 years ago.
No, I know it. Well, welcome to the Wholesaling Inc. live show, where we know that finding discounted property is the most proven path to financial freedom. I'm your host, Brent Daniels, joined by my best friend, Mike Mahoney, and Rafael Cortez. And we're here for 4 reasons. Number 1, to give you the instruction that you need to go and implement into your business right now so that you can go find some incredible deals. Number 2, for you to squad up in the comments section. Consider this a networking event for you to go and connect with people that are doing amazing things. It is critical that you find your tribe when you're starting to be a real estate entrepreneur. That is step number 1. Find your tribe. Do not do this by yourself. Do not be an island by yourself. Number 3 is we want to answer your questions. Whatever challenges that you're facing right now, we want to be able to answer them. We do this show for an hour. We talk for about 15 to 20 minutes in the beginning, and then we open it up to questions. And 4th, and always our favorite, is to celebrate the success that people are having out there every single day. Whether you've talked to your first seller for the first time ever, or you went and drove for dollars for the first time, or you're just taking some action. You're taking massive imperfect action. We want to celebrate you. And certainly if you've closed deals, we want to know about it. We want to ring this victory bell and celebrate you. So make sure you put in the comments section what you have been up to so that we can answer those questions and celebrate your successes. So yeah, it's been a fast start to the year, Mike. It's been a really fast start to the year. I thought that looking at the fourth quarter of last year and the third quarter of last year, I thought that there would be a lot of people leaving our industry. because they didn't necessarily develop the skills that you need to really build a long lasting business, and they were kind of just working on a foundation of sand. And I was right. And this is something that we've seen since 2004. We've been doing real estate since 2004. We've seen the cycles, and when it squeezes in a little bit, people start rushing. They start finding other businesses that they want to start, and it's incredible how many of the gurus, how many of the people that were doing deals and locking up stuff and just selling them are gone now. Wow. And it's a wide open space.
When it squeezes up, it squeezes out anybody who's not serious.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of these gurus can't survive because that's a lot of their people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marcellus, why launch control for texting? I thought you used batch leads. Yeah. Batch leads really kind of got away from the text message marketing. Are you using batch? No. Okay.
No.
So launch control did a fantastic job. They are TCPA compliant. They spend a lot of money, and they're very, very focused on being the best at text message marketing. Now, Batch is who we use to organize our lists. Batch is who we use to skip trace. They're the best of the best. Batch is who we use to pull lists. But the texting, that wasn't their strongest vertical. And so they kind of wanted that to go away. They wanted to focus on other things that they were really, really good at. And launch control has just exploded. And they've done a really, really, really solid job.
I think they're the best right now.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Also, it's the user interface is not that crazy difficult, and then it's not that hard to set up. A lot of the other services, they will have you go through Twilio and set up different accounts and connect all kinds of stuff. You have to do a couple of things with launch control, but it's the deliverability rate is high, and then the setup is not too crazy. So
I'm going to call Jackie to answer this question here. Declaration home buyers. I'm going to see how many texts we're sending out a month. That's a great question.
70,000, I think.
70,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Jackie.
Yes.
You are on the Wholesaling Inc. live show right now.
Oh my gosh, how exciting.
Yes. How many texts do we send out a month? Mike thinks it's 70,000. Is that accurate?
We at the maximum we can send is 75,000, but realistically 70,000 are going out.
Okay, great.
With all the delays.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Cool.
You're the best.
All right.
boom,
You're the best. Talk to you later.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Mike's on it.
Mike's on it. Nice.
On it.
70,000. So, Alan, hey, Brent, we just locked up another property that's set to close on June 12th for a $65,000 assignment. Come on.
Damn.
That is what I'm talking about. $65,000 assignment from one conversation with the property owner. Absolutely incredible, Alan. Keep that momentum. Massive deals. Absolutely incredible. Congratulations, Alan. I love it. I'm in that picture there, if you didn't notice.
Yeah.
Scott, Brent, are your pre-foreclosure deals all cash or creative? And thank you for all that you do. Have watched you for years and so much, and learned so much from you. Thank you, Scott. No, with our pre-foreclosures, it was just a regular wholesale cash deal. We have worked a little bit. I mean, we're following up with some pre-foreclosures for some more creative deals, but most of those are kind of the sub 2 route. And we've done a couple, but it's not a huge part of our business. What about you, Raf?
Yeah, everything on our end. I mean, we are catching up with some private money, but we're wrapping the first. So we're doing creative on the first, and then setting up a second lien sometimes, and then catching it up. On average, it takes about $55K per property. So
to catch them up?
Yeah, to catch them up and then do some repairs and whatnot, and then lease the properties back and that sort of thing. So that's what we're seeing, but we are definitely wrapping the first.
So explain to me this. So you've got obviously your own funds to buy these properties, but you've also raised funds with some partners?
Yeah. So we have a handful of private money investors. And basically what we do is we'll sell the second. So we'll come in, we'll close it with our own funds, and then sell a second to catch it up and then just cash out. Another thing that we're doing is we keep getting the deals, right? So we'll sell a handful of them to just keep the capitalization going.
Yep.
Yeah. So after you get a cadence and you get some, some rhythm, you can, one property will fund the next 10. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
Love it.
but yeah, creative financing on the firsts.
Awesome. Joel, agent broker relationships versus direct to seller. Couldn't we also use agents for dispoing deals, private lenders turning them into buyers, etc.? Absolutely. Listen, Joel, it's all about conversations and offers. If you're able to get really great deals going direct to agent, then go direct to agents. That's fantastic. We go direct to the property owner because my philosophy is I want to have this business for the next 20, 30, 50, 100 years, whatever, right? Long-term strategy. And I just know that there's a lot more property owners out there. If you look statistically, 6 to 10% are in distress. I mean, you're talking upwards of anywhere from 8 to 14 million property owners that need help, right? And how many agents are doing business right now? Well, it's gone down dramatically. I just sat in there with Ivo Dragunov, who owns Batch Leads, and he was telling me the reports that they're seeing. I mean, real estate agents, first of all, most of them don't do any business.
On a regular market where it's not stressed out or anything, about 20% of the agents are doing business.
Now it's 10.
So
you had 2 million agents. Now there's 1.5 million agents, and 10% of them are doing deals. You got 150,000 people to build relationships with. Yeah. And so it's great. I mean, build those relationships and build it in your market. But the conversations I'm having with agents is they're getting bombarded with texts and calls right now. They're getting destroyed right now. I mean, they're absolutely getting oversaturated with communication. And it used to be the property owners were feeling that way.
See, I feel like agent broker relationships used to be kind of a honey hole. Not as many people were going after them. Right now, everybody's going after them, right? So the rejection there is very high right now.
Well, and Batch Leads just came out with a national agent directory.
Yeah.
So you can get all of the phone numbers to all the agents in the whole country with Batch Leads.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's just it's just going to go bananas. But anyway, I mean, you could get it doesn't matter. I really don't think it matters. I just like doing bigger deals, and I like keeping the team lean. And I know that profitability is a lot higher when you get bigger deals. And so I've always gotten bigger deals. If you look at the average deal that I've gotten from an agent versus the average deal that I get direct to property owner, and there hasn't been, I'm certainly not the master at going and getting them from agents, but we've done a lot of business over the years with agents. And it was more like a $15,000 average as opposed to a $40,000 average, or a 33 or 35 or whatever it is. At this point, I've got all the breakdown here, but we just do bigger deals direct to seller.
I'd say whatever you're gonna do, you got to focus on it, commit to it, and see it through for at least 3 to 6 months.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you got to give it time to work. One thing that we are leveraging agents for is on the dispo side. So we're pulling cash buyers lists.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're using Preview. Preview has a fix and flip filter in there. It's pretty solid. We usually make contact with those, but you can also see the agents who have worked with those, with fix and flip properties in the past. So if you don't get a match from the actual cash buyer after skip tracing, we're still reaching out to the agents. And then, hey, listen, I have a property.
Yeah.
Let me know if you have any other, cash buyers that are willing to.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I mean, listen, they're in this business. They know they can understand values quickly. Yeah. So they're great for dispo. They're great for private lenders. They're great for turning them into buyers themselves, for sure. One of the fastest ways to sell your deals is simply just go on Zillow, look at all the properties that have been flipped in the last 90 days, and reach out to the real estate agents. Oftentimes, the person flipping it is the real estate agent. Yep. They got their license just to sell their own properties, which is absolutely fantastic. And then some of the ones that specifically list a lot of flips, it's because they're finding the deals for their investors.
Right.
So not only are they really good at finding opportunities for the people that have the cash to go in and invest in these properties and bring investment into those neighborhoods, but then they also get the opportunity to sell all these really nice, clean properties that sell really fast right now. Then the fact is, I was going to do it. There was a 3-minute TikTok that I was going to do at the start of the show, but I was like, it's a little too long. But it was the CEO of Redfin. And he's talking about the lack of new builds in this market, the lack of new builds, and the fact that most property owners have a 3% mortgage, and for them to move up or move down, it's going to be double, triple what their
It doesn't make
payment
sense.
is.
Yeah.
So we've got and he says this is the craziest market he's ever seen because interest rates have gone up triple, 2.5 from what it was in like 18 months. But inventory's gone down by 1 million properties. Average is 5 million properties are sold a year. Now this year they're looking at like 4.2 or 4 million. So you've got a lack of supply and demand matters. And that's what he's talking about in this TikTok, which is absolutely incredible.
And
Maybe
buyerability.
we can put the link in, Matt, and people could watch that later. But it's really smart to understand. And I think that's why people are snatching up really clean flipped properties right now, and why a lot of the investors are coming back, because they're selling these properties at a premium, multiple offers, and they're going fast. So they can turn around their money, and there's not a tremendous amount of risk, which makes them happy. Yeah, makes every flipper happy. So we've just seen more people come out. Kim, hi, Alejandra, Brent, and Guy, smart. Kim knows if she wants you want to comment on here to cozy up to Alejandra. If I can commit to constant time block to call, what is the best calling times to actually reach morning, midday, early evening, or night? I always had really great success from 9 to noon. Luke Rotvold, who I consider the best phone prospector in the country, he calls from like 1 to 4.
Guy's a machine.
You know what I mean? And then I have people in the Rhino tribe that call when they get off of work at 5 o'clock. I've got people that call on their lunch break. So number one thing is consistency is going to, that's what wins the game. Whenever you can absolutely be consistent and make it sustainable. It has to be sustainable, right? It has to be something that you can commit to every single day. And you're not going to feel like you're like, really forcing it every single day. And the days that you can't force it, you just slip off, because there's no way that is sustainable. No way you can do it long term. So find the times that you can commit and do it. I typically believe that if the sun's up, game on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We get pretty decent response between 4 and 7.
Nice.
But still, if you can't call it 4 and 7, call it 1 and 4, 1 and 3. Like
so the answer really is consistency. Whenever you can be consistent.
That's it. Yep. FISA Enterprises. I'm a licensed agent working on a novation deal. Not sure if I should list it myself. Not sure if there are going to be any ramifications for my broker. Should I just use a flat fee MLS? 1,000% yes. Yeah, use a flat fee for sure. Absolutely. Great question. But yeah, do not list it yourself. Marcellus, Brent, in the past, you've talked about contacting title companies to find motivated seller lists. What category would these sellers normally fall under? Trying to get my first deal with limited cash. Awesome. They have pre-foreclosures. They've got, sometimes they have inherited lists or probate lists.
60-day lates is a good
60-day, 90-day lates. They could pretty much pull any kind of list that you want, because they've got access to, most of them have access. If it's a Fidelity title company, they have access to Black Knight, which is, they pull their data from CoreLogic, and CoreLogic is kind of where everybody gets their data from. It's very, very clean, very accurate, very up to date. And so I think you just go in there, Marcellus, and you just see first of all, find a title company that works with a ton of investors. Second, go and say, hey, what do you think would be the best list for me to go after so I can bring some title and escrows to your company?
On that note, a lot of times that conversation can be a little difficult because they all sometimes feel like they're begging title companies.
Yeah.
But think about it. They have deep pockets for this very, purpose, right? So just go up to them and tell them, hey, listen, I'm going to drop a big marketing campaign in your area. And I want to bring, the escrows to this title company. Can you guys help me out with lists? So make sure that you're highlighting that it's a give and, it's a win-win on both sides.
Yeah. Awesome. Technical Trader G. I love it. I love that cool guy. Oh, is that that's got to be Breaking Bad.
Walter White.
Yeah, but he's got a different.
It looks more
he's
like
got a different
Marty's
name.
Yahoo without the.
Somebody put it in the name
long
of
hair.
Walter White's alter ego, Heinsberg or something.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, hey Brent, Astro student here, making $11K off a deal in Macon, Georgia, in 3 days. $80K so far made this year. Thanks for all the knowledge. Absolutely incredible. Come on. Awesome. Congratulations. 11K and 80K so far this year. Push it to $250,000 this year. Push it to 250,000. Like the back end of this year should be absolutely bananas for you. Nathan, thank you for everything. Because of the show, I'm about to flip my first property. Third deal in total. Realtor thinks I'll net $80,000 to $90,000. How do I avoid capital gains? CPA says can't. 1031 a flip property. Hold on 1 second. Let's celebrate, Nathan. Here we go. Boom. Let me explain something to you, Nathan. The government will always get theirs. They're always going to get theirs. I mean, even if you 1031, you're just deferring it till later. And then you could defer it your whole life, and then they'll get you when you die. It's called a death tax. It's crazy. But they're going to get theirs. That's the price that we pay to live in this country. It just is what it is. So you have to take into account, what you're going to pay in your profits for sure. So just, capital gains is capital gains. It's part of the deal. If you make income in this country, the government's going to take some. So, and the more income you make, the more they take.
When I started, I used to kind of, okay, cool. What am I going to do? Am I going to over depreciate some stuff just to not pay so much and whatnot? And it always ended up coming back and biting me because the, on the books, look so solid. And then when you're looking for a loan for a flipper or something, you're trying to show your assets. Mm-hmm. It's hard, right? So it kind of works both ways. Yep. Just do it right out of the gate.
Real quick, these guys, so I think it was Nathan, Technical Trader G, and then earlier on, Alan. Mm-hmm. Some of these guys that are out there doing deals, we've got Rhino Roundtable coming up in July, which would be a great fit for them. So let's chat about Rhino Roundtable for just a minute. What is Roundtable?
Well, it's literally everything. It's a whole breakdown of our business. It's a mastermind where we hot seat everybody, make sure that we look at the business and where it needs to go. The problem I have in our industry is you get going, you start building up some income, and then all of a sudden you start making stupid mistakes. And you start hiring people too fast, and you hire wrong people, and there's turnover, and there's all these things. We've got Roundtable. When is it?
That's July 13th through the 15th.
Yep.
It's here in Phoenix. We're going to focus on two things: scaling your team. And scaling your marketing.
That's right.
Yep. And this really is not for brand new people.
No.
Right. It's for people doing deals that are ready to start scaling the smart way and kind of model after Brent's business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Profitable, keep the turnover really low, and be around incredible people. So, yeah.
In fact, Hondra, can we get that flyer in the comments just so that people can have access to it?
There you go. If you're interested in Rhino Roundtable, it'll be here, actually, in this room right here. And it's going to be absolutely incredible. There you go. Scott W. 3-parter, Brent, with follow-ups. If it's a no for now with an agent on market with a cash offer, at what point do you follow up and you say, please resubmit my offer besides just letting the agent know we're still here? Yeah. I don't know. You need to. There's a lot more information that we need here, Scott. But basically, how many offers have they rejected? What are they going to do? You have to ask these questions when you're talking with an agent. What are they going to do with the property if they don't get this price? Are they open to being the bank? Are they open to, if we can get them that price, are they open to payments? Right? And what offers have they rejected? These are really important to understand because what often happens is property owners will put properties on the market with an agent just to test to see if they can get a certain price. If not, they just re-rent it or they fix it up themselves, right? But if you see something on there, I mean, just keep following up, keep having a conversation. Are they still going to hold on to it?
Find out how active the listing is too over the last week or so. All right. How many offers have you gotten over the last week? That sort of thing. It'll give you it'll give you an idea of what they are looking at and whether or not the urgency level is increasing on both the agent side and then the seller side.
Yeah.
Three-parter. Okay.
Got my first contract sold. Helped the seller in a big way. She needed speed and convenience. Split $6,000 profit with a sub-2 partner. It was a manufactured home. Sold it to an agent. Come on, Scott.
Nice.
That's what you were talking about at the beginning.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible. Congratulations. Yeah, tell Jerry he's going to be pumped for you, man. Jerry's absolutely incredible. So yeah, make sure that Jerry knows about that deal. That is awesome. Congratulations. Did he say that was his first deal? Yeah. Dude, first deal closed. I mean, proof of concept. That is such a huge step in the right direction. The huge step into knowing that you can do this from faith to fact, right? You're crossing that bridge. And now that you've earned income from your efforts, just do it again and again and again. Cookie cutter, punch out the dough. Keep punching out the dough. Whatever you did to find that, whatever marketing channel you used, keep using it. Joel,
he'll be living it up in Puerto Rico like Jerry
that's it.
in no
Yeah,
time.
they'll be shooting iguanas. Yeah, that's it. Joel, opinion on calling title companies to find deals and buyers. For example, deals falling through, which we can turn creative, or buyers they know, et cetera, than doing business with them. Yeah. I mean, listen, I've had, we've gotten some of our best buyers ever from the title companies because they want to connect you. You know, the interesting thing is when you start giving title companies a bunch of business, all of a sudden they give you tickets to games and tickets to shows and concerts, and they start having private dinners in really fancy restaurants where you go back behind and people are out there and people are having steak and lobster and they're chatting it up, and it's all these wealthy investors that are and wealthy agents that are bringing them business. And so they go and they treat you, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember the first time I found out about this, I was just at a restaurant, and I think it was what's that one? Ocean 44. Is that up in Kierland, Mike? What's that Ocean one up there?
Scottsdale.
Yeah, that's
Ocean Club.
Ocean Club. Yeah.
There was an Ocean Club, and it's this fancy restaurant. And I was there just, I don't know, it was like a happy hour or something. And I kept seeing people that I had recognized, you know, on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. And I was like, what is going on here? And I kind of crept back behind, and I wasn't doing a tremendous amount of business at the time. They were all there having a great time, patting each other on the back and connecting. And I was like, I need to be in that room. And that's what I did. You know, I just worked really hard to bring a ton of business to the title companies, and it was like, boom, it's like the golden ticket. And so they'll introduce you to some of the best people that are doing business because that's their whole thing. They need us. Title insurance is like the most ridiculous insurance ever. They have insurance that they did their job right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a racket. I mean, it's hilarious. Then you could talk to any escrow, any title rep or whatever else. Yeah. I mean, they make like $1,000, $1,500 for insurance that they did the title report right. Right. I mean, if you look at how much they actually pay out in a year, it's
they have attorneys on retainer too. So yeah, Joel, get cozy with the marketing reps at the title companies. Mm-hmm. They're going to be a lot more approachable than the escrow officers if you don't have that relationship yet. But your easy way in is going to be the marketing reps, and they'll do a lot for you.
Yeah, good marketing rep if you're doing business. I mean, they know everybody and they like connecting because if they connect you guys and gals, more business is coming their way.
Yep,
for sure.
Awesome. Joel, you out there doing business? Tell us. I love the support, brother. You've been fantastic. Joe, seller signed our first contract yesterday on a sub-2 deal. Get him, Joe. Come on. Joe, put in the comments section if you're going to hold on to that or if you're going to wholesale that or what your exit strategy is with that property. Remember, guys, when it comes to real estate business, there's 3 exit strategies. You can flip the property. You can buy it and flip it. You can buy it and hold it and put it into your portfolio, or you can assign your interest in the contract. Those are your 3 exit strategies. And so just decide what you want to do. If you put together a really good sub-2 deal, but it's in an area that you don't want, or maybe you don't have enough in savings in case something goes wrong, and you just want to build up your account, and you want to kind of build a nest egg so that you can go full time in this business. If you're part time, it just depends on what your strategy is. You could assign that sub 2 deal and make a really nice income and not have to just hold on to it. So real curious to see what you're going to do there, Joe.
2013, 14 is when I started doing a sub 2 with Sean Terry.
Yeah.
And I mean, there were so many deals that now I look back at them and was like, man, I wish I would have kept that one. I wish I would have kept that one. I should have kept that one. So yeah, sometimes, right? But at the beginning, you got to build up the bank account, like you say all the time, right? It's just got to make sense. So yeah, make sure the time's right for the.
And I also think, listen, if you think that if you don't have enough in savings to cover your payment on any rental properties for like 6 months, in case the worst happens, a tenant doesn't want to pay you, they stop, they try to give you excuses, they kind of ghost you, they lock all the doors, whatever. This happens every day, guys. Every single day. You need to have a considerable amount of reserves set aside in case somebody isn't going to be able to make their payment. If you think that the tenants are going to always make that payment, you're wrong. You're just wrong. They're not. And so you need to have a nice nest egg if you're going to have rental portfolios. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
How about repairs?
That's the
How
thing.
about air conditioners?
How
about windows?
The idea of buy and hold is very sexy, right?
Yep.
But if you don't have those reserves in place and an AC unit goes out, I mean, you're out $5,000 when your cash flow is $500 a month. I mean, it'll be a hit, right? So just got to, take all that stuff into account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Faiza, I don't know. I don't do novations. We've done a couple. We've gone after a couple, but it hasn't really worked out. I think we kind of missed the novation boat, or it just didn't work in our market. I feel like it works on some of the smaller markets. If anybody's in here that is doing novations actively right now, put it in there. I know that you need the purchase contract. I know that you need a power of attorney or a attorney in fact, and you need the net proceeds agreement. I think that's the one that you're missing there, Faiza, the net proceeds agreement. But if you don't know the documentation to do a novation, don't do a novation. I'm serious. You're going to screw it all up. It's going to be a nightmare for you.
They get sketchy.
Yeah. It's going to be rough. I would 100% have somebody that's doing a bunch of novations help you. Just squat up. Johnny Uva. How to get around a seller who is not comfortable letting you see the inside of the property because he doesn't want to disturb the tenant. Well, then you got to give you've got to give an offer that reflects a sight unseen. So you got to just assume the worst. You just have a conversation with the seller and say, listen, if I can't see the inside of the property, then I'm going to have to assume that it's going to need a complete repair. I'm going to have to factor in $35 a square foot right off the bat. And then just looking at aerial shots, if it needs a roof, if it needs new windows, if it needs pool equipment, if it needs landscaping, each one of those is an additional $5,000, maybe even $10,000. Just depending on, how big the roof is and how big the pool is and how big the lot is and all these other things. So I would go $35 a square foot, and then I would just tack on $5,000 to $10,000 for anything else that is going to need to be replaced or updated. And then from there, that's the conversation that you have. But my question would be, if you're talking to a property owner that's truly motivated, there should be an opportunity for you to be able to see the property.
A lot of times they're skeptical because they don't have something in writing. They don't have, a sight unseen agreement works, right? But you can drop in a clause that it's subject to interior inspection or interior walkthrough, right? After they sign the agreement, then you kind of set it up, tee it up and whatever, give them, a few days to square out with whatever they need to do, but you drop that clause in there. So they'll have to give you access, which you're going to need for pictures and that sort of thing if they don't send you the stuff. Yep. And we've sold a bunch of properties just from the pictures that the seller sends us. So sometimes that works, especially on the virtual side. But yeah, a lot of times they're just uneasy about the entire process. They want to make sure it's solid before they even start talking about it.
Yep. Johnny Uva, rhinolist.com. It's batch leads. Rhinolist.com is where we get our pre-foreclosures. And they've got all the different property distress lists in there. So yeah, it's kind of a one-stop shop. It's not kind of, it is. Joel, Have you utilized Facebook to find deals, especially on tired landlords and multifamily? No, we've played around with it a bit, but we're more with Google. We're finding really good success with Google, and so it's different, right? Google, they're actively searching, to sell their property. Facebook is more, you're just getting in front of a ton of people that hopefully fit a certain avatar. And whether that be geographical or whether you put in, your distress list and try to, do some sort of, I don't know. What would you do, Mike? Can you build an audience based on people's addresses that are in distress?
You could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just see if the ad grabs them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even now with Facebook changing every day.
You mean like dropping a Drive for Dollars list in there?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I think you can
retargeting.
still make custom audiences inside of Facebook.
Yeah. Awesome. Joel, what is your timetable like daily? How are you scaling, creating a team, delegating, expanding, and being a strong leader? How are you guys holding the team accountable? How do you share your strengths? That's what the whole Rhino Roundtable is about.
The roundtable.
It's literally the breakdown of everything. It would take 3 days for me to explain it to you, Joel. But I can give you kind of high level. Number one is you have to be a magnet for incredible talent. You have to be you have to bring on people that don't need micromanaging. The more you have to manage somebody, the worse it's going to be in your business. They need to have talents. You need to give them the training and the skills that they need, and they need to stay in their own lane. And I would highly suggest that you give them a high base salary, 70, 80,000, and then smaller commissions, 3 to 6%. Maybe 10%. It depends on what the role is, whether it's a acquisition or disposition. But if you give people salaries and they're really highly talented, they're going to stick around. Plus commissions. And so number one is everybody has to understand what the goal is. Number two is you have to have a scoreboard. So every Friday, and the Rhino Tribe members know, they come in here that are local or some fly in every week, and we go over our scoreboard that shows what's going on with the different marketing channels, what leads have come in, what was the response to those leads, and what's the income that we've made that week, what are the hottest leads, and then what have my acquisition and my junior acquisition manager, Chad, and my acquisition manager, Ryan, what have they done that week? It's all on the scoreboard. They have to put it with copious notes, which they don't always like, but it helps us out.
I just want to add to that, Brent. When you're scaling your team, one thing you did is you scaled smartly. You stayed in your business a long time. Yeah. There's a sort of a pecking order in which you go recruit, train, manage a team out. So it starts with you. Then when you get overwhelmed, you get a VA. Then when you get overwhelmed, you outsource your marketing. Then when you get overwhelmed, you get a junior acquisitions manager, and on and on and on and on. You don't go do it all at once. Right? You do it one step at a time, stay in your business as long as you can.
Yep.
You'll pick up those bottlenecks too. I mean, as you're going through this process, like you'll start to feel and see the stuff that gives you headaches.
Yep.
Right. That's a cue. That's a red flag.
Yep.
So, yeah. Lean into that.
Cynthia, 2 land contracts in Atlanta. Come on. Here we go. Now, are those contracts on pieces of land or a land contract? That's the question that I have. The second thing is get those sold. Get them sold. Contracts are great. Closings are better, right? It's the first step. You're on first base. Now you got to round the bases, get to home, and get paid. Get it closed. All right? Just Cynthia. Awesome. Congratulations. Alan, what advice would you guys give on being consistent while still having efficiency and not falling into autopilot and checking the box marks just to do it? Great question. So, listen, here's the thing. It just depends on, do you want to be self-employed? Do you want to be a highly paid self-employed like a Michael Jordan? Or do you want to be an owner of a business like the owner of the Bulls? Right? Like, do you want to be on the court or do you want to be the one that is putting people on the court? You know what I mean? So number one is, do you just want to just do your own thing. You feel comfortable. You want all the control, and go out there and keep getting these deals, or do you want to grow the business and give up some of the income in the short term to be able to get more of a not passive, but more of an owner's income later on.
What happens with that too is that the pie gets bigger, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
You just got to listen. You just got to decide at what point you're going to start hiring people, right? And it's very important to know when that should be. All right. And when you start hiring people and bringing on talent and firing yourself from certain roles in the business, it's awesome. You give up control, but you get freedom, because you can't have freedom and control. Okay. Everybody's like, I want financial freedom. Great. You got to give up control, right? Which is very difficult for a lot of us because we built this thing with our own hands. You know, I want to add to that, for being consistent, really falling into autopilot, and just checking off the boxes every day. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. It's routine for a lot of these things. You know what I mean? You are trying to get into autopilot and just going through the motions day after day after day after day. Yep.
That's consistency.
Yep.
That's just working the routine.
Alan's talking about efficiency on there. We get motivated either by pain or pleasure, right? Simple as that. But when you plug somebody into the business, now you have the pain of having, to pay somebody out of pocket when you're getting started, especially if you're bootstrapping, this kind of stuff. So that'll be a motivator. Trust me.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something that's gonna, spark the engine per se, mm-hmm. every morning, do that. Start, of course, do it methodically, right? But hire a VA, bring a VA to help you with the tasky stuff, the stuff that you can check off the list, and then you start focusing on your highest and best kind of stuff. Now you have, right, the focus of the new things that you're working on. That's exciting, and you also have the responsibility of this other person that you have to perform for, and that's exciting. And trust me, like that's gonna take you beyond the check boxes and into that efficiency realm, and just focus.
Well, and also be around people doing more than you. That's what keeps you excited. Listen, you have to get comfortable with repetitious boredom. It is boring.
That's it.
You got to stay absolutely focused and fall in love with repetitious boredom, because the people that always need to be like a ADHD business owner and they always need like excitement every single day, you're just causing drama because your financial thermostat is set too low. That's the absolute fact. The fact is, most people don't feel like they deserve the income that they're making, so they're going to go in. It's like, have you ever dated anybody that's like just causes drama because they're just bored? You know what I mean? Idle hands do the devil's work. It's been a saying since the beginning of time. Idle hands do the devil's work, and it's the absolute truth. And I think a lot of that comes with, okay, well, I'm being consistent. I know that if I put this in, I'm going to get this out, and it's going to be absolutely great. But it's kind of boring now. It's not as exciting as it used to be, and so I'm going to start causing some drama and shaking things up to make it more exciting. Don't do that. That's when you lose everything. That's when you start doing, oh, you know what? I'm going to start building this huge portfolio, or I'm going to start, developing this piece of land, or I'm going to start, whatever, going off in different avenues of income before you have your established business, which is going to really be the engine of your bank account. Fall in love with repetitious boredom. Mm-hmm. Hey, Brent. Declaration home buyers. Hey, Brent, I deal with a lot of properties with title issues. Yep. How do you negotiate inspection periods and close of escrow while trying to keep the buyer in play with title while title is clearing? Number one, if you know that there's a title issue, don't sell that deal yet, and put a very long inspection period and very long close of escrow period, because you know that they're going to have to get some things cleared out. So if there's any kind of like your spidey senses are going off and you're kind of like, you know what? My instincts are telling me that this is going to have some title issues, then make sure that it's a longer. Now, open up escrow right away. Have them tell you the title issues within the first couple days that you have that property under contract. If you find out that there's title issues, you need to go back to the seller, renegotiate, and reframe the timeline, because you're not going to be able to get it done in the time that you want. And so their expectations, you don't want their expectations to still be that there's no issues, right? You need to make sure that you're a truth teller, truth seeker. You go and tell them the truth and and adjust those timelines.
We also have a clause in the agreement that allows us to extend the close of escrow up to 6 months if there's title issues that are found, just to give us time to fix that kind of stuff. So it's already rolled into the agreement in writing. That's something that you can do. Take a look at it. Look at your area as well. But that's something that, as you're going through the process of explaining the contract, I mean, it's actually one of the things that we tell them about, right? If we find any title issues, we have up to 6 months to clear all that stuff out and still be in agreement, still be in contract. So.
Awesome.
Good questions, man.
Great question.
People are on fire today.
I don't know where Honda just went.
Yeah.
She quit.
There you go. She's clicking from.
Does the seller need to sign a memorandum or even disclose you will file one? My last seller asked me what it is and only signed after I told him I wouldn't file one. How do you protect without it? Great question. We go through, it's in our contract, so we obviously go through it and they understand that when they commit to us and we commit to them, that they can't just go and sell it to somebody else, right? They can't just cancel the contract because they want to, that this is a real commitment. And so if they're not comfortable with that, then they shouldn't sign the purchase agreement in the first place. Now, if they want us to cross that out and don't want there to be, they want to have the opportunity to back out if they want to, one, it's a red flag that, they're probably going to still continue to sell the property or look for buyers or leverage the offer that you have given them. And so you got to understand what is going on here. What are they uncomfortable with? Now, listen, if they want to be like, I'll sign this. And if you can get it done, great. But I'm going to continue to see if I can find buyers that'll pay me more. Great. We have no problem with that. Not a problem. Go for it. You know what I mean? But if you really want to clamp them down, if that's like, I need to make sure that they, aren't going to try to sell it to somebody else after we have a signed agreement, then there has to be something in the initial conversation that went wiggly. There has to be something that some strategy that they're not necessarily telling you about. So truth teller, truth seeker, just find out what's going on and then play with it. Just be like, listen, this is we've got this contract. And we're going to be closing this, and you can't just back out. You just can't. You just can't. They have to understand the commitment that they're signing.
And it's different in per state on a state basis. Like for example, California has to have notarized. Arizona, it's the Wild West. I mean, we can just file memorandums as long as we disclosed it's disclosed in the agreement. So it depends on where you're doing business from. That's also going to apply to that first section of that question. But yeah, I mean, think of it as a preventative thing to not lose the contract or still be in there, as opposed to a leverage point or something that's just boilerplate into your conversation.
Awesome.
Yep.
Last question of the day, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you so much. We want to support you so much. It means a lot that you guys spend time with us, that you ask questions, that you even come to this channel. If you are not a subscriber and you're getting value out of this, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button if you're watching this after. It really helps us out with the algorithm, and we'd love to continue to give as much value as possible. So make sure that you go and take those actions, and I think it's good karma for you. So Lexi asks,
how can the title company continue to pull lists? They don't have a marketing budget.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you just have a conversation and usually they set it up automatically and they just email it to you right away. So just tell them, hey, listen, I'd like to be updated monthly.
I think she said the title company doesn't have a marketing budget. She said they don't have a marketing budget.
Find a new title company.
Find a new title company. It's got to be a win-win.
Yeah, go find somebody that's bigger.
Yeah.
Awesome. And that's it, guys. Bring it in. Matt, Alejandra, I don't know what they're up to, but
they're
already
running
around. Yeah, they're already in.
You realize that? We're already in.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us. Remember, keep your house clean, right? Keep your house clean. This house and your actual house. Protect your health and increase your value to the world, and you'll live an incredible life. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.